Welcome to my session on opening up and beginning to heal during a digital age. My name is Vonnya Pettigrew. I am the CEO and founder of Root Branch Media Group. We are a media production firm right here in Baltimore, Maryland. Um, We've been around for 15 years. This January makes 15 years. There's kind of two parts to our business. As a media firm, we're a full service production company where we create media messages for government agencies, universities, um, businesses, corporations, that sort of thing. But we also have a film academy side to our infrastructure. And through our film academy, we teach digital media arts to young people. We do this by being contracted with school districts. Baltimore City Public Schools is one of our largest partners. And we have a team of instructors that work on site at various schools offering digital media arts, from filmmaking to broadcast to photography, to all of that. Anything that relates to production and media, we have instructors that go on site to schools. And so essentially, when a student is in school and they would have their resource period, for example, where they would go to art class, music, gym, whatever have you, they have the option of taking media production or broadcast with one of our instructors at their schools. We also work with a number of community organizations and youth service providers to provide other out of school time programming, whether that's as an after school program or as a weekend workshop or even summer camps. So we essentially work year round with young people. But the niche with our company is that we specifically hone in on the art of documentary style filmmaking. We love teaching young people documentary style filmmaking, particularly because, simply put, as I would describe it, is that documentaries are real people talking about real things or real issues. And so oftentimes, because they are young, their voice isn't always heard. They aren't always given the time, attention, and the ear for us to hear their voice around topics that are affecting them. We know as adults the different things that we are dealing with, and the pressures of life, and all of that that comes with it. But sometimes we don't really slow down enough to actually see what impact they may be having on our young person, right? So we use media or digital media as a way to help them have a medium or a platform to kind of tell their story and share their perspective and their point of view of how whatever it is that is happening at the time may be affecting them. And so, again, I think in my particular workshop today, it looks like most of you all are adults. So what I would like to do maybe is kind of tailor my talk a little bit about how, as an adult, maybe you can use the same medium and the same tool as a way to get your young people or your youth to open up, and begin their healing process. Because just by being able to allow them to have that platform to be seen and to be heard, can be quite impactful. It can be quite impactful in that, one, it sheds light on what their truth is, what they're really dealing with, but it also gives us an opportunity to strategize ways of how we can better support our young people, of how we can implement services or resources, or even change policies, even that may affect our young people. So media has had that effect for us as a company in the work and the films that we have created. It has had that effect on young people that we have worked with. So let me ask this. One, two, three, four. So we have about 4 or 5 of us here, if it's feasible, because I know some may be at work or you may be, doing some other things, but if it's feasible, could you turn your cameras on for me? It's a little hard to talk to black boxes. Even if it's only 5 people. Hey, lovely faces. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. So let me just start by, I'm going to run through my routine with you all as if you all were my young people. And then that way you can get some ideas and some examples of how, if you were to try it yourself, you would actually know what to do just by modeling right here today. So I always start with a social emotional check-in. So because again, we're all in a very unique space and time right now. Like, we're in the pandemic, we're in a snowstorm. It's like, what else could we do, right? Like, even if I wanted to go outside, I can't right now because it's like an ice skating rink in front of my door. So whatever. I actually intended to leave my session from my office and studio, but in transparency, I have been home since Saturday. I taught Saturday program from the office, and I said I'm going to stay home until the weather breaks. So, and since everyone's virtual, no big deal, right? So how are you all feeling? Tell me who you are, what you do, where you're from, and what brought you to my session. I can do this because there's only 4 of y'all, so go for it.
I can start. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Cool.
Hi,
Thanks.
Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel, she, her. I work for Arts Education in Maryland Schools. We're a statewide arts education advocacy organization. Prior to my time here, I taught in Baltimore City Schools for 5 years. I taught both math and music to middle school students. I don't really have any expertise in digital media, but I really enjoy it as a discipline. So I just kind of popped in to learn more and see what's going on.
Fantastic and welcome. I follow AEMS and all of the other organizations that support teaching artists like Tama, and it's just a whole slew of them, but it's okay. And I like I said, I follow those organizations because I love the work that you all do to advocate for us who are doing that work in the community. So thank you for joining.
And we applaud you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you. Who else is on with us?
I'm happy to share. My name is Cecilia Gonzalez, and I live in Baltimore, but I'm from Ecuador, so I travel regularly. My work is in international development, but in Baltimore, I'm involved in several organizations, one for community organizing and one with the Johns Hopkins Blumberg School of Public Health. And through that, me and my husband are going to start a group to talk about issues of justice and think about racial justice. And now everything, because of COVID, is virtual. So I was interested to hear about how do we help people, young people. In this case, would be maybe college age, postgraduate age. How do we open up about these things for healing?
Absolutely. Thank you, Cecilia, for joining. Again, like I said, our company, Root Ranch, we work with almost everyone, it feels like. So we actually do quite a bit of work with the Bloomberg School of Public Health, as well as the Centers for Adolescents Health. So, one of our school sites in Baltimore for several years was Archbishop Borders, which is a dual language school. So we're quite closely with young people who were both Spanish speakers and English speakers. And again, the key to our work is that we work with young people to give them a voice. And so it's amazing as we move from demographic to demographic, there are some things that overlap, like we're all dealing with some of the same things, but there are some things that are so specific and culturally, relevant. And then we're able to use media as a way to amplify their voices. And I'm telling you, these projects our young people have made have had effect on policy changes and all sorts of things. So because it's something different than when we say it as adult and then when an 8-year-old says it, because an 8-year-old really doesn't understand why is the world so crazy, like, so they want some answers and they want it in a way that's clear to understand, right? Who else do we have?
I'll go. So the name is Carol Harding. She's my roommate, so she can chime in if she wants to. She's doing work right now. But my name is Brittany Chrisman. I used to work with Vonnya, so I wanted to jump on here and see her. It's actually really good because we wouldn't be able to see each other anyways right now because of our. But yeah, I used to work with Vonnya, and because of the skills that Vonnya taught me, I was first introduced with like film, the post-production of editing, which is insane, and then the camera operation and all of that. And yeah, that side of things is amazing. Like working with the children that summer that I was able to work with you, and then even the Baltimore youth film.
Oh yeah, Film Arts. Yep.
That was awesome. And I can put a link, or Vonnya can put a link. There's still the videos up there. Just having to work with you and providing those stories for giving people that voice. I saw the people's enthusiasm and just their light pop up, because at first, they're kind of timid to be in front of the camera, talk, share their story. And then by the end of it, they're like spewing words, and Vonnya is even like, okay, like settle down. But yeah, now I use that, and I kind of wanted to, I graduated in May 2019. So I've always wanted to do like federal work, and I'm still working my way up because right now I'm in a federal agency, but I want to be on the social justice advocacy side. So right now I'm a public affairs specialist using tools that I learned from Vonnya and then also at school, but it's for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So not social justice at all, but it's more like environmental and things like that. But hopefully in the future, I can do more of that stuff.
Oh my gosh, Brett, I'm so excited about that for you. And you may not know this. I feel like I have a connection with every one of you and everything you say, but my absolute very, very first job, I was in 11th grade. I'm from Philadelphia, but it was with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So
no, you didn't tell me that. That's crazy.
So we will definitely talk more offline about that. So I'm excited about that for you. I see Dr. Leaf is on the line. Oh, Carol, did you want to say something? Carol. Okay.
Yeah, so Brittany's my roommate. I work for a public interest law firm that does a lot of employment discrimination cases. It's a national firm, but I work in our Baltimore office, and I work closely with our criminal sexual violence practice, which focuses on cases of child abuse or just general sexual violence. But the reason I wanted to come to your presentation today is because I think, just as they are in the legal field, like stories are very powerful and can bring about change, but I've also been very intrigued by the digital media side, but I've never been very artistic per se. So I'm like intimidated, but learn a lot from Brittany, and I'm excited to learn from you.
Fantastic. Dr. Leaf, I see you're on with us as well. Welcome. Let's see if these cameras on. Did I miss anyone? Carol, did you go? Carol Hart? Yes, you're on the Carol. So you throw me off because of Brittany. But it's okay. I got it. All right. Blue, would you like to share something? This is super funny because Blue is actually my current assistant, but then Brittany used to be my assistant. So it's like I got two assistants today. So.
Well, hi everyone. My name is Janelle Blue. I mostly go by Blue. Not too sure what to share, but I am currently the Root Branch Media Groups and Vonya's sort of personal assistant and also administrative assistant for our new office over in Clipper Mill. Are we sharing things personal to ourselves, or are we just keeping it
Yeah,
great?
I was just doing my check-in, like who you are, what brought you here, what brought you to our session today, kind of thing. Yep.
Well, definitely. I've never been a part of the Healing City Summit, so this is an experience for me. And it was something that was introduced to me from Vonnya. So I'm just excited to see all of what it encompasses. And yeah.
All right. Well, again, I welcome each of you to our session. And as I've already kind of given you an overview of the work that we do, here's why this is so important, because of COVID, we have all been thrusted into a digital lifestyle, right? Like this is the only way we can communicate, we can stay connected, whether it's work, it's personal with our families, it's a conference, whatever have you. And so here's the thing, years ago, I guess I was maybe ahead of my time, but I was always thinking, hey, if we're going to raise 21st century learners and thinkers, we gotta let them learn the digital media arts. They gotta learn the technology. They have to learn how to use it in a meaningful and responsible way. So we know that our young people know how to use technology. It's almost as though they come out of the womb swiping left. Like they already know how to use a phone. Like they know more than we do, quite honestly, right? It feels that way. But what they need our help and our guidance is to now help them to understand how powerful and impactful this tool that they have in their hand can really be. Yes, it's great for socializing. Yes, it's great for even learning. Like you can research anything. You can ask Siri almost anything, right? So that's all wonderful. But because we are a little bit older and we are from the world where we actually understand that www really means the World Wide Web. I don't think our young people realize that it's the entire world is connected in this medium and in this platform. So where they may only see it from their smaller scale based on, oh, I'm just sharing this with my friends or, with my cousins or whomever. It is so much more than that. And it can have a great impact. So we really want them to just kind of understand the value and the impact that this tool that they have access to, it can really be powerful and impactful. So what we do is, again, we use media to help them create messages that are that can make a difference. At Root Branch, we always say we make meaningful media that makes a difference, right? So we all have our own social media pages if they're allowed to be online, and they have their own audience, if you will, and they have their own following already. And in fact, some of these children have thousands of followers, which is like really incredible. But then how do you use that in a positive and meaningful way? So I could talk about this all day, but what I'm going to do is show you a couple of examples of short film projects that we've done with young people. And I think it'll paint the better picture for you, a clearer picture for you of how, if we just give them a little bit of guidance, they're creative, they will run with it, and they'll just know what to do. But as adults, we can steer them in the right direction, and we can support them in what they're doing and what they are creating. So let's see, I feel like I have 5,000 screens open. The first thing I'm going to talk to you about, the first thing I'm going to share with you is a contest that we launched. Hold on, please. Give me 1 second. I am not seeing my one particular screen that I want to share. Here we go. Can everyone see that? Okay, great. So at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, like literally back in March, when Governor Hogan was like, yeah, I think we need to close school, right? I'm not going to kid. I had a mini panic attack because I was like, wait a minute, we work with schools. So that means what in the world, what does that mean for our students? What does that mean for my teachers? Like, people are out of work. This is like a big deal. Like, we can hardly ever get a snow day, yet alone we're going to close school for like, we don't know how long, right? So that when it became really real to me. So I came up with this idea literally that weekend, to come up with an idea to launch a video contest. I wanted to do something quick and immediate to capture our young people's attention and divert their attention a little bit by what was going on. So I created this opportunity for them to participate in a video contest where they would create a 2-minute short video on how they are staying safe, how they are adapting to now having to go to school from home, and how they're staying connected with their schoolwork, right? This project, I pitched it to my business community. We are a 10KSB Goldman Sachs small business. And so I pitched it to my business community and the Bloomberg Philanthropies, along with T. Rowe Price Foundation. They supported us immediately and provided the funding for us to launch and implement this contest. And so the contest ran for 3 weeks. It started out as a Baltimore thing, but then it turned into a national thing because, well, it's the World Wide Web. So when I launched it on the internet, educators all over were like, hey, can my students do this? Can we participate? But to try to keep it sort of control, I kept it to the US. So I made it a US contest. And so we gave out 3 prizes at 3 grade bands. So we did an elementary level, middle school, and high school. And there was a first, second, and third prize where they won $500, $250, or $100 each. We had a tremendous turnout. Again, you can check out the website as Root Branch Video Contest Kids on COVID-19. I am looking to possibly do a follow-up project similar in scope because we're kind of 1 year later. And so I want to kind of see check in with our kids again and see how they're feeling, and how was this first year in this new lifestyle for them. But what I'm going to share with you is the highlight video that was we composited together of the short films that were made by our entries. Okay, so again, they had the rules for the contest. They used their cell phones, real cameras, tablets, whatever, and this is what our young people did.
Now we can get started. Make sure to keep up the hygiene by washing your hands. For 20 seconds.
Today I want to tell you a little about my experience dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic.
When I'm done my school break, I'll just go take a walk or sit on my porch, because I know if I'm sitting in the house looking at the same walls every day, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm
avoiding to go places where there's large gatherings. I'm trying my best to not touch my face as much.
I know that there are teens my age who aren't as fortunate as me and who have to work in order to take care of their family who may be out of a job.
Drink your tea daily, drink your tea daily, drink your tea daily, drink your tea.
Here are some meaningful ways me and my family are spending time together at home.
If you work hard to protect yourself, you're protecting other people.
I heard you were wondering what you can do to stay safe from COVID-19. During the COVID-19 outbreak, I decided to help clean up the community.
I'm staying safe in my community by locking on the doors, keeping hand sanitizer and wipes with me all the time. My brother is making masks for sick people and old people, and I donated them $7, which I got from Tooth Fairies, to make more masks.
Not going outside unless for essential needs, which never happens because I'm sitting here playing my favorite games all day, pretty much. You should also stick to a routine. Sleep and wake up at a reasonable time. Not only is this healthy for your body, but it'll be easier for you to get back to your routine when school starts or you have to go to work.
Nobody thought any of this would happen. But it did. We all have to stay home, where it's safe.
Vision. This is the perfect time for you to sit back and really think about your goals and your vision in life.
Make sure you stay in your home and be safe and have fun and
All right. Those are little people. So from what you just saw, tell me, what did you see? What did you hear? And how did it make you feel?
I was having like a split reaction because on the one hand, they were so cute, but then also it was like, they're talking about this horrible pandemic that's going on. But it was very heartwarming. And especially all of them who were like the kid who donated his $7 to make the masks.
Series,
And
right?
so cute. And I think it really communicated that like kids are able to, at least on some level, like understand what's going on, understand the severity of it, and contribute to the community and say like, I'm going to go out and do something about this.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so empowering. I mean, it's empowering to other young people when they see it. They see, wow, this kid looks like she's like 6 or 8 or whatever. So if she can do it, I can do it. But to adults, it's also like inspiring, right? Who else? What did you see? What did you hear? How did it make you feel? And them kids done pour their whole heart out. Y'all got to give me some feedback.
Well, it was beautiful. It was really nice to see. I think I just echo everything that was already said. Just really warm and inspiring to us too as adults.
Yeah. Britt, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted other people to go first, but yeah, I mean, it takes me back to working with kids, and I always got goosebumps, and that's what happened. Yeah, I think what you did too was like that lifts so many people's spirits, even though this, like, it's still going on. This horrible thing is happening to the world, and kids do understand a little bit of what's going on. I mean, they know the premise of what's going on, and they're sharing their stories and everything. And I think, honestly, I feel like you need to do more of those compilation videos, because that kind of gets people through. And it also reminds them too of stay home, wear a mask, do all these important things. But it also gives them a sense of like community too. So I think that's what I got from it. And yeah, I just hope you do more of the compilation videos. Maybe are you doing any more submissions?
So yeah, I'm thinking about doing a 1 year later, similar experience, because like I said, this was very fresh. It was like literally April. So it was going from, we're going to be home from 2 weeks. Then we extended another 2 weeks. Like we weren't in the long haul of it yet. So none of us had any real whatever on how serious this was about to get, so yeah, I'm definitely talking to the same partners about, how could we do a follow-up project, because I am curious to see how our students have made it through the completion of one school year, the summer, the start of a new school year. It's like, what has that been like for them, and again, the whole point of why I'm showing you this is media is a way to sum it all up. You know what I mean? Like, you can just watch this short thing. It was 5 minutes, but I believe you all gained so much information, you know, just in that short presentation. I'm just going to say this really quick. Blue, I just made you a co-host. In the chat, folks are asking for the link. So if you could drop the contest link or any of the other links I'm going to share. Thank you. Also, Kate Davenport, welcome to our session. Thank you so much for joining. So I'm going to show you one more video done very differently, more in this kind of setting. Earlier in this past summer, we were a presenter for the Black Mental Health Alliance. They had a virtual youth conference, and their focus was My Black Mind Matters. And a part of my workshop with the young people was to have the students actually create a PSA, but we created it in this Zoom space. And so I'd like to share with you now the project that we produced with those students. Let me I tell you, I literally have so many links open. All right. Okay, I'm going to share screen. Now, bear in mind, for this session, I was with the students for about as long as I am with you, an hour. And in that time, we did a short workshop, and we wrote a script, and then they put it together, and then we later edited together. But here's what they produced.
My Black Mind Matters. My Black Mind Matters.
My Black Mind Matters.
My Black Mind Matters. My Black Mind Matters. My Black Mind Matters.
There is a lot of noise.
There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise going on around us, whether it is Black Lives Matter movement,
Police brutality.
homophobia, racism, and social injustice, or things going on in politics.
This noise affects me because it troubles me that the police, that they don't think we are, capable people, and that they don't think that we're capable enough to stand up, and that certain incidents, will go unnoticed.
This noise affects me in a good and a bad way. The good way being, it makes me proud of who I am and not being ashamed of the color of my skin. The bad way, it kind of makes me mad that people don't see my skin color the way I see my skin color, because I feel like, not like that, but Black people are very strong people. So I want everybody to embrace the Black love that we have for ourselves.
It affects me in a positive and negative way because it brings awareness to everything that's going on within my community. And it pushes me to want to fight harder for what has been going on to my people for many years. But it also is draining to me as well, seeing how my people are treated, the corruption of the system, and how it's broadcasted daily on social media, the news, it just talked about within the community.
A lot of times that noise affects me because it's on social media. It's in the news again. It is at our dinner table conversations.
This noise affects me by making me unsure about the future.
I quiet the noise by journaling and taking time for myself, seeing my therapist as often as I can afford to, and making sure that I participate in creative activities and provide really awesome spaces like this that give voice and choice to young people, especially as it relates to mental health.
I just, get away from I just try not to watch TV like the news and stuff, and, focus on what the better things in life is, do stuff that might not, put my mind onto the noise, such as BLM and the protesting, like going outside and working out. That takes my mind off of things. And hanging out with my family.
I quiet the noise by venting. I vent through my friends and just like, like on certain issues, okay, you know what? Because I don't like to keep all the information in, and it just helps me to talk it out.
Ways that I help quiet my noise is by creating art, being creative in different ways, whether that's painting, drawing, or any form of art pretty much.
I quiet my noise by taking walks.
I quiet this noise by not caring and just learning more about my history and learning more about myself and finding ways that I can make myself super powerful and be like a super powerful Black.
I clear my mind by going on walks with my sister and taking a social media break, and that's okay. But it affects me in a good way because it makes me stronger. It makes me a harder customer believing that it doesn't matter what people say and that I need to just love myself.
This is important to me.
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 This is important to me because
we're going to be the ones who see the world differently, so we're more open to things that's going on, and like we better understand what's going on in our society than most people. So that's why I think my Black mind matters.
My Black mind matter, and so does yours.
All right. Any reactions to this? What did you see? What did you hear? How did it make you feel?
I think it's really impressive knowing how little time there was to put that together. I really like that effect of like having the pieces, especially at the beginning, that everybody was saying and repeating. It really like drove that message in, but then had that opportunity for everybody to give their own personal answer to some of those questions. And everybody was just so thoughtful and well-spoken, which again, like for such a short amount of time to be able to organize their thoughts so well is really impressive.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, think about it. I just met them. So it was like, we went through a series of questions and a graphic organizer. They responded in the chat. But then when it was showtime, I was like, all right, cameras on, everybody, let's do this. And they just, like Brittany said, they just blah, 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 blah. Like they just, they start talking. I'm telling you, our young people have a lot that they want to share. And because they understand this technology and they understand media, it makes it engaging. It makes it fun for them in a way that they can really get into it. Anyone else? Your thoughts and reactions to that particular piece?
It reminds me of again, just echoing what you all said, how young people just have this capacity to do things that sometimes I don't know why we're surprised, but when I was younger, we took a marketing class and I remember we all had to do commercials. And I was amazed how much we can do. So congratulations, and it's giving me some good ideas as well.
Thank you. And you're right. There is so much we can do, even when there's just a little, I wanted to remove the barrier of what if they didn't have a this or they didn't have a that. Well, let's just turn on our Zoom recording and record the session. And that is the camera, at the end of the recording, it downloads the video. Then you can take that video and chop it up and manipulate it to, create something creative with it. So the mere fact that they showed up in the Zoom, they have a camera. That's how I look at it. I only have a few more minutes with you all. I hope that just even in showing these couple of examples, it gave you some fresh ideas to maybe even think about, wow, these are some ways we can, creatively engage our young people. We want to make it fun. We want to make it engaging. We don't want it to necessarily feel like work. And we do that, but I'm telling you, because they have so much on their hearts and on their minds that they want to share, we just need to give them the time and space and opportunity to really express that. Any questions, any comments, anything you want to ask me before our session ends?
I just wanted to share, or not share, but like have a comment on that video. I like how they put like, this is positive because, it's showing like people are getting more knowledge about why things need to change, but also it's negative. And I also, I don't know if you follow, but I follow R29 Unbothered on Instagram, and I saw this post yesterday, and it books about Black joy. And the caption is, there are plenty of novels that delve into the effects of systemic and historic racism on people's lives, which are important for us to read and learn from. But it's also imperative to read stories that uplift Black people and showing us winning. And I think that's so important in what you do, because, you know, you're letting young people voice their experiences, their thoughts, but it's also allowing them to tell their stories and uplift other, you know, youth and just other people as well. And so it's, I think just both of those things and everything that you've showed us in this chat was important.
Thank you. And it's thank you for acknowledging, you know, recognizing what we did there with the negative and positive, because what I wanted them to take away was, yes, this is noise, but it's almost like John Lewis, Good Trouble. Noise isn't always bad. There's good noise too. So even though it might be bad for whatever reason, it's necessary noise to make a change and have a positive outcome. So when they began to think about that noise, they thought of it like good trouble, like, okay, how is this noise negative, but it's also positive and making a positive impact or making a difference. Anyone else? Well, you all can certainly please keep in touch with me through social media. We are Root Branch Media Group. Blue, if you could just drop our IG or whatever in the chat, that would be super. If you have additional comments or even questions after this on some tips and tools that you may be able to use if you come up with an idea or a project that you want to try out. Any of our websites, and you go to our YouTube channel. When I tell you, we have tons of short films that have been made by our students over the years. Feel free to use any of those videos with your students in your classes, whatever, as a springboard to maybe begin having a dialogue or having a conversation. Okay. Well, I think that is it for me. I thank you all so much for joining me and giving me your time and attention. And I hope that it was useful and beneficial to you. So thank you so much.